Alright, welcome back to another exciting project, and thank you for joining me as we create something fun and visually engaging. In this project, we're going to build an auto text effect animation that types out words one by one to create a smooth and modern typing look. When you check the final version of our project, you'll see a typing effect that displays different career titles one after another, giving life to the text on the screen. We'll create this effect using JavaScript, and as you can see, each career title changes automatically in a clean, looping animation. For example, the first title says YouTuber, then it changes to Web Developer, followed by Freelancer, and finally Instructor. You might notice that Instructor uses an instead of a, and will use the ternary operator in JavaScript to make that conditional change happen correctly. So, I'll see you in the next section, where we'll start working on the HTML part of our project and bring this animation to life step by step. Let's begin building our exciting project together. Let's begin by opening Visual Studio Code. Let's close the Get Started tab first, then click on File and select Open Folder. I usually create the project on my desktop, but you can choose any location on your computer. We begin by clicking right here and selecting the New Folder button to create our project folder. Let's name this new folder Auto Text Effects Animation and press Enter to confirm. Let's proceed by clicking the Select Folder option and then closing the Get Started tab right here. Let's begin by creating the HTML file for this project. Over on the left side in the Explorer section, we'll right-click and select the New File option. We'll name this new file index.html. We type index.html as the file name and then press the Enter key. Our index.html file is currently empty on the right side, but we can quickly generate a standard HTML structure by typing an exclamation mark. Type an exclamation mark in the editor and press Tab to select the top auto suggestion. Take a look at the standard HTML5 boilerplate we start with. To view the full code easily, press Alt-Z and enable word wrap in your editor. As you can see, the doc type appears here, informing the browser about the HTML version used in our page. Inside the header section, we include 3 meta tags along with a title tag. The charset attribute specifies the HTML character encoding, and UTF-8 contains all the characters and symbols you'll need so users can view your page correctly, which is the standard recommended by HTML5. The second meta tag is specifically for Internet Explorer, instructing it to use the most recent rendering engine. The viewport meta tag guides the browser on adjusting the page size for different devices. Specifically, this part sets the page width to match the screen exactly and starts the zoom level at 100%. You'll notice the title tag inside the head section, which defines the text appearing in your browser tab. Let's launch the browser directly inside Visual Studio Code using the Live Preview extension we've installed. Let's activate the preview by right-clicking the file and selecting Show Preview from Live Preview. We can see the browser preview is currently empty except for the title that says Document. We will update the title to match our project name, the Auto Text Effect Animation. We drag this line to collapse the Explorer section, giving us more space to view all the code. Within the body section of our HTML, we include a single container element. And inside this div container, we include an h1 heading that says, I am a YouTuber. Later in the tutorial, using JavaScript, we'll create automatic text effects that transform YouTuber into other careers like web developer or freelancer. For the moment, we have manually set the heading text here. In the next section, we will apply CSS to style our page effectively. That covers our HTML setup, and we will move on to styling next. In the previous section, we completed the HTML portion of our project. Now we will begin styling our project with CSS. To begin styling our project, we need to create a CSS file. To open the File Explorer panel, we can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Shift-E or find it in the View menu. We can right-click in this left panel to create a new file, or simply click this icon here. Let's name the file style.css and press Enter to create it. But before we can start styling with CSS, we need to link our new file to the HTML. Next, we will navigate back to our index.html file and place our cursor just below the title tag. Let's include the link tag by typing link and selecting the third auto-suggestion for CSS. You can see we now have a link tag that connects our HTML to the external style sheet file. Since both our HTML and CSS files are in the same folder, we can simply write style.css for the href value. The href attribute specifies the link's destination, which is the target URL. Perfect, now we have everything linked up correctly. With that link in place, we have connected our style sheet. Let's save the file, close the Explorer panel, and open our style.css file to begin styling. Let's open our browser preview and make the window a bit larger before we begin styling the body section. Let's remove the default margin from the body, which is the space surrounding it, by setting the margin to 0. You can see the margin has now been removed. To center our content properly, we will change the display property to Flex. Next, we will set the Justify Content property to Center. We can now see our text is perfectly centered horizontally. Next, we'll set the height to 100% of the viewport and align the items to the center. Look closely, and you'll notice the text centered perfectly both horizontally and vertically. Now let's give the background a nice salmon color. Let's go ahead and change the font for this text. Now let's say we want to use a custom font from Google Fonts. Let's head to your desktop and open Google Chrome or whichever browser you prefer. In this step, we will search for Google Fonts. Once you see the search results, go ahead and click on fonts.google.com. Check out these various text fonts displayed right here. Try typing something simple here, like "I am a YouTuber," to easily compare how fonts appear with your chosen text. I've actually decided on a font. I have decided to use the permanent marker font for this project, but feel free to choose any font you prefer for yours. We then click to select this style, and over on the right-hand side, we click on the Imports tab to copy the code from the style tag. Let's head back to Visual Studio Code and paste that copied code at the very top before the body section. Let's turn on Word Wrap with Alt-Z to see all the code clearly, and then we can go back to the browser where you'll find the font family permanent marker with cursive as a backup. Let's copy this code and head back to Visual Studio Code to paste it right below. You can see the new permanent marker font taking effect. That covers everything we need for our CSS styling. In the next section, we will use JavaScript to change this YouTuber's text to other career options and add a dynamic auto-typing effect. We will continue with JavaScript in the next section. In our previous section, we completed the project's visual styling. Now that our project looks good with CSS, we're going to bring it to life by adding JavaScript functionality. Our first step involves creating a new JavaScript file. To open the File Explorer, we can press Ctrl-Shift-E. From the left side panel, we can right-click to select the New File option. Let's give our new file the name index.js. You might notice that the code files occasionally appear on the right side, right next to the browser. You can easily bring them over by simply dragging the tab right here. This gives us a real-time view of the browser. Before we can use our JavaScript file, we need to link it in our HTML. Now we will navigate to our index.html file and add a new script tag just before the closing body tag. Within the script tag, we type the letters SC and then select the second autocomplete suggestion, which is the one containing the src attribute we need. The src attribute is the part that points to where our JavaScript file is located. You will find both the index.html and index.js files located in the same directory. For the source URL, we simply need to type index.js. With our JavaScript file properly linked, we can begin adding functionality. Let's navigate to the index.js file and close the Explorer panel by dragging this divider line. Let's start by selecting the main container for our project. We want to focus our JavaScript manipulation specifically on this container div. To grab the container div using its class, the method we need is called querySelector. Now let's create a constant variable named container_element using document querySelector, targeting the class container with .container inside the parentheses. We can press Alt and Z together, which enables word wrap, making our code much easier to read. Now that we have our container element selected, our main goal here is to manipulate this container element. For instance, you can target the container element and update its inner HTML to an empty string or any other text you choose, and notice how it appears right on screen. Before we add that functionality, we need to move our HTML content into the JavaScript string, so we cut the h1 tag from the HTML file and paste it into our backtick template. Right now, we're seeing the same text as before, but we want to make this YouTuber title dynamic. To add multiple career options to our project, we will create a constant variable named careers and assign an array to it. Next, we create an array for the careers, starting with the capitalized YouTuber, followed by examples like web developer, freelancer, and finally instructor. To display the different careers dynamically, we can replace this hard-coded text with a variable that targets our careers array, allowing us to access the first element for YouTubers or the second for web developers. To see a different career like instructor, we simply change the array index number. To avoid hard-coding values, we will create a variable named careerIndex and set its default value to 0, then replace the hard-coded number with this new variable, and finally, we need to move this entire operation inside a function called updateText. Now, we'll call this function once to display the initial text, but since we want a typing effect, we also need a new variable to track our position within each word, so let's create a character index variable starting at 0. The slice method extracts specific portions from a string based on indices. To grab only the first character, specify 0 as the start and 1 as the end. That pulls out exactly the character at position 0. For the first two characters, change the end index to 2 instead. Now make that ending index dynamic by using the current character position. So we will use character index instead. Currently, the index starts at 0, but we will increment it using the ++ operator while setting up a setTimeout function to call this repeatedly after a short delay. For the delay, we will use 400 milliseconds, and since we only have one line of code to run, we can simply call updateText directly. Now, when we refresh the page, you'll see the word YouTubers type itself out completely, but the next career in our list doesn't appear yet. To handle the typing effect properly, we need to add a condition that checks if the character index has reached the end of the current career string's length. Inside the condition, we check the length of the current career string. When our character index has been incremented and reaches the end, we can then proceed to increase the career index. So we will increase the career index by 1. Once YouTube finishes typing, we move to the next career, but we must also reset the character index to start from the beginning for the new word. Let's correct that by setting the value to 0 instead of incrementing it. Let's watch the text type out step by step. First comes YouTube, followed by web developer, then freelancer appears and instructor begins. However, notice how instructor cuts off before the final letter shows up. That issue arises because we need to place the character index increment at the beginning of the loop rather than at the end. Let us cut this section and move it to the top. That typing effect is now working perfectly for all the careers in our array. Looking at the word YouTuber, we should add the letter R to the end. We can see the careers changing from freelancer to instructor, but the animation stops after instructor. To make the animation loop correctly, we must also reset the career index back to 0. In this step, we include a condition to check when the career index reaches the end of the array, determined by the length of the careers array. When we reach the end of the careers list, we should reset the career index to 0. Now we have the text cycling through YouTuber, web developer, and freelancer, but the word is being used for instructor when it should be am. The reason we need to change this is that we should be saying, I am an instructor. The current hard-coded a here needs to be updated. To fix the grammar for words like instructor, we should check if the career starts with a vowel and use an instead of a. We can do this by creating a variable that checks the first character of the current career string. If that first character is a vowel, like I, we use am, otherwise we stick with a. This gives us correct phrases like, I am an instructor. This quick project covered a surprising number of useful concepts for you to learn. I truly hope you enjoyed following along and picked up some valuable skills. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments section. I look forward to seeing you in our next project together.